Hey there, it's Dr. Justin Marchegiani. Today's video is going to be on how to exercise with adrenal dysfunction. We're going to talk about what is adrenal dysfunction or fatigue, the slang word. We're going to be talking about exercise, how to modify and adjust your exercise so you're not making your adrenals worse. And we'll also address some long-term solutions. So off the bat, what is adrenal dysfunction? And again, I use that word over fatigue because people think of glandular failure in the conventional medical kind of setting, right? If you talk to your endocrinologist about glandular fatigue, they're going to think about Addison's disease with adrenals. They're going to think about type 1 diabetes where the beta cells of the pancreas are totally exhausted. So their mindset's not really kind of wrapped around that. We're talking about functional imbalances with our cortisol or our adrenal levels and not about total failure. But again, could adrenal fatigue potentially progress into that? Yeah. But it's definitely on the rare side. Usually there's an autoimmune condition that drives it to the full-on extreme failure level. So off the bat, we talked about the adrenal dysfunction. What are the major take-homes or hallmarks there? We're gonna have high cortisol is gonna be a big one. And that could be cortisol just being high at the certain times of the day like it shouldn't. At night, it should be low because cortisol is an energizing hormone. And if it goes high at night, that's a problem. It could be just low in general. It could be just low and flat throughout the day, low and flat throughout the day. So typically cortisol is going to be higher in the morning like this, and it's going to drop throughout the day like that. So there's AM and there's PM. And because cortisol is energizing, we want it lower at night to really help us be able to wind down. And then the last one is going to be a rhythm issue, where just the rhythm's out of balance. So if we look here, looking at this analogy, right, we have higher in the morning, lower at night, and basically it's switched. So instead of it being normal like this, it actually starts to go like this. And it starts going, it's lower in the morning and starts getting higher at night, relatively speaking. All right, so in general, we have three aspects: higher cortisol, lower cortisol, or rhythm issues. And rhythm issues, you can be lower and have rhythm issues too. Those are the worst because you feel kind of like all over the place, but you also feel tired and sometimes even wired too. Where you're tired, but you also can't relax and wind down because of anxiety and heart palpitations and mood issues. So that's kind of what adrenal dysfunction is in a nutshell. And again, the hormone we're looking at is cortisol, which is a glucocorticosteroid, and blood sugar has a lot to do with it because cortisol and blood sugar are intimately connected. So if we're eating the poor foods, blood sugar will go up and down, which drives more cortisol. But also the corticosteroid part is really important because corticosteroids have to do with inflammation. And one of the more inflammatory things in our life that we do that's a good inflammation is exercise though. But the question is, can we deal with it with our level of adrenal dysfunction? That's the question. And that's what today's video is on. So in general, cortisol is a that's the blood sugar hormone, right? Cortico, it's coming from the cortex, corticosteroid, stress and inflammation. So this has to do with the exercise component, right? We know when you're inflamed, right? Knees, elbows, whatever, you go to your conventional orthopedic person or anesthesia person, right? With pain issues, rheumatologist, they're gonna recommend cortisol or prednisone injections if it's really bad, right? We want to modulate that naturally and get as much of our natural steroids, our natural corticosteroids from our adrenals. So what kind of exercise? So number one, 3 questions you got to ask yourself to make sure you're not exercising too hard. Number one is, do you feel more energized? Do you have more energy? That's number one. Number 2 is, how do you feel afterwards? Can you repeat the movement pattern? So 1 is there an increase in energy post-workout? Is there an increase in energy post-workout? 2, can you repeat the movement? Can you repeat post-workout? So you finish the workout, you catch your breath, you did whatever your series was, 20, 30, 40 minutes, you catch your breath, you caught it, you're relaxing, you hydrated, all right, your heart rate's back down. Think about it, all right, could I do that over again? Hell no, I'm out of here, no way. Or you're like, yeah, I feel really good, I could do that over again. I feel really good right now. We want to feel that like, yeah, I could do it over again. And again, some people, they've done their AMRAP and CrossFit and they're just like, I'm done, get me the hell out of here. Some are like, I feel really good, let's go again. You want to have that, can you repeat that workout feeling? Yes, I can, totally. And then last but not least, if it's a morning workout, how do you feel? How do you feel the next day? How do you feel the next day? And this could be a morning workout asking how do you feel later on that night, or this could be an afternoon or nighttime workout saying how do you feel that next morning. And again, this is barring, stress is pretty similar, sleep is decent, your diet's pretty good, you didn't go on a bender the night before. As long as all things are normal, we should be able to answer positively to all these questions. Positively. Yes, my energy's up, I feel really, really good. Yeah, I can repeat it. Yeah, I catch my breath, I feel like I can do it. I feel good about it. And then how do you feel the next day? Yeah, I feel pretty good. Or if it's a morning workout that night, yeah, I feel pretty good. Now, again, how to modify your workout is a couple of things we can do. So if you're answering negatively, if you're saying, nope, I don't have the energy, or no, I can't repeat it, or no, I feel like crap the next day, how are we gonna modify it? So number one is frequency. Okay, so with frequency, how many times a week are you going? Are you going every day? 7 days a week? Well, maybe we drop it down from 7 to 3 days. 3 to 4, maybe give a day in between. That's number one. Number two is intensity. So you could just have more time in between sets. More time between sets. Okay, so if you're doing a circuit and you're giving yourself a minute, maybe give yourself 2 minutes, okay? And that's the intensity, all right? And then also the time of your workout. You can go from 60 minutes to 40. These tend to be the really easy things. Decrease the frequency, intensity, more time between reps, okay? And then also you may wanna look at doing less intense movement patterns, right? A front squat or a clean and jerk or a snatch may be a lot harder than, let's say, a simple bodybuilding movement, right? So we may want to do just more simple bodybuilding movements, curls, press. Maybe we could do some lighter weight deadlifts, right? Instead of more explosive energy, nervous system stimulating movements like Olympic lifts. So we may want to just choose easier lifts that aren't going to take our breath away longer. Not saying those are bad. Maybe we do less of them. Maybe you start your workout with heavy deadlifts or heavy squats, and then you kind of do lighter, more functional bodybuilding kind of workouts later on to put less stress on your body. Feel that out. So intensity, you can change the type of intense movements, and you can also change it to doing kind of more bodybuilding kind of movements. And then also, make sure we're not doing long, slow distance cardio, right? None of the LSD, long, slow distance cardio. We want to keep it interval-based, high intensity, rest, high intensity, rest. How we'd modify it with that on the intensity is, let's say we're doing a Tabata or a peak 8 and we're going 20 or 30 seconds. Well, maybe instead of a 10 or 20 second rest period, we go a minute or a minute and a half. So we can adjust that rest period to give us more time to recuperate. And again, if we're doing a Tabata, it may be as short as 5 minutes. If we're doing a peak 8, which is a 30 on, 90 off times 8, we may give ourselves 15 to 20 minutes to do that. So feel it out and see what works best for you. More rest time, and then the time, cut the workout down as well. So with the peak 8, instead of doing, let's say, 15 to 18 minutes, maybe we do 8 to 10 minutes. We can cut the time down or cut the amount of sets from 8 to 6 or 6 to 4. So in general, these are some good solutions that you can do here. These are some of the long-term solutions we just hit. So in general, adrenal dysfunction, we have high cortisol, low cortisol, and then all of the imbalances and rhythm disruptions in between. Best type of exercise. Also in between, just to kind of reiterate here, walking's obviously great, yoga's great, Tai Chi, meditation, these are all great gentle movements that you can do in between if even regular exercise is causing too many problems. If you're already lifting, right, make sure you ask yourself the 3 questions that you answer positively to. Number 1, do you feel more energized? 2, can you repeat the movements after you rest and recover from the workout? 3, how do you feel later on that day or that next day? How to modify it? Cut down the amount of days you're working out. Number 2, cut down the intensity or less intense movements. Number 3, you can cut down the amount of time in the gym, and then you can And with the intensity, you can also decrease or increase the rest time if you're doing high intensity interval training or burst training. And you can also do more walking, more Tai Chi, more yoga, more of the lighter, gentle movements. That's totally great as well. And again, this is a long-term solution for success, but you want to get the adrenals fixed, right? You want to get your adrenals tested, know where they're at, get on the right supplements, the right support to help heal those adrenals faster. And of course, make sure you're making the right diet and lifestyle decisions too. Again, make sure you click below to subscribe to get access to more great videos coming your way. If you need help with these strategies of helping to implement them yourself because you have adrenal or hormone issues, again, click below to schedule a consult with myself or my colleagues so we can help you guys out. Again, thank you so much, and you guys have a great day.